Hello, my name is Lauren Gazauskis, and I'm the Associate Director for the Seattle Central Foundation. It is my pleasure to welcome you to one of the most inspirational ceremonies that I can imagine. It is especially exciting for me to be in the presence of so many people who have made Seattle Central the outstanding institution that it is today. I'm incredibly proud of the support Seattle Central receives from our community and from all of you gathered here tonight. I would like to ask members of the Foundation Board who are here today to stand. These individuals have dedicated countless hours to provide opportunities for our students, and we can't thank them enough. Thank you, Paul, Ann, Francis. This year, we have a record-breaking 160 scholarship recipients. In total, they will receive more than $400,000. That's $50,000 more than we were able to give away last year, and we're happy to say that we're busting at the seams in this auditorium. This evening, we will hear from our college's leaders, listen to personal stories from fellow scholarship recipients, and hear the inspirational words from our keynote speaker, Nate Miles, who has a special message to share with our scholarship recipients. When we begin the awards, we will announce each student's name and ask you to please stand and face all of our friends and family and community members who are sitting in the back of the auditorium. We take pride in our college's local and global impact, and we are excited to share this joyous occasion with our national and international community via a live webcast. So students, as you face the audience and are captured on camera, know that your loved ones at home are also here with you tonight. Those of you who have read scholarship applications and have pored over personal essays know that the stories we will hear from the stage are just a few examples of the brilliance, the talent, and the dedication that we have in this room. To all of the scholarship recipients, I want to say, congratulations. You've earned this. You can take pride in the fact that out of all of our applicants, someone thought that you had an extra special quality, and they decided to invest in you. They decided that you deserve the award that's named after their business or their loved one, and that's a big deal. Their success and your success are now connected. You have a chance to make good on the investment being made in you today. Take this opportunity to get involved with your community, in this school, to explore new interests, to discover new talents, and take one step closer to achieving your goals. The people that invested in you were blessed and successful enough to do so, and they passed it on. They knew that people had helped and supported them along the way, and that it was their responsibility to instill that same hope and belief in future generations. Empathy is a powerful motive for human beings. Not so long ago, looking out for others made our own survival more likely. Keep that empathy close at heart. And remember, don't pull that ladder up when you've reached the top. Reach down and grab the hand of the person behind you. Thank you. Now, please turn your attention to the screen to see a video that was written and performed by Seattle Central students.
I'm in the apparel design program at Seattle Central. And I transfer at the end of this year.
And I'm majoring in nursing, and I'm from Ethiopia.
And I'm interested in communications.
Anthropology and pre-international law.
Dental hygiene.
Apparel design major.
The opticianry program.
My major is nursing. And my major is finance.
My favorite part about school here is
the learning part.
And how involved our teachers are. They are here for you when you need them, so
how supportive everyone is.
It's like a family.
Especially coming from service.
This school has an amazing community.
And it's a little cliche to say that because it's a community college, but it's true.
From the teachers to the students, you can get a little bit of everything here.
And totally accessible, both geographically and economically.
I would like to thank my scholarship donors because
I'm 100% serious in saying that I would not be able to go to school.
Without it, I don't think I'd be graduating.
Not only you helped me, you helped my parents to reduce their stress.
For this to happen affected my entire family. It's not just about me.
I had my medical bills go through the roof.
It's allowed me to focus on my studies and maintain a high GPA.
It's allowed me a platform to really learn who I am as a person, learn what I want to engage with in the world.
It lets me do work that I'm proud of.
As well as taken some of the stress off of affording childcare for my 3-year-old son.
You'll see the results. You'll see them walking down the street.
And someday we will definitely give this back to the society and to the people who need help.
I'd just like to say,
my appreciation is boundless.
You've made my brighter future possible.
Completely changed my life.
So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
For validating the experiences of minorities.
For the blessings that you have given me. In the future, I hope I can be like you.
And I'm really excited for my future, and that would not have happened without this scholarship.
Thank you for the people that put together that video. It's always inspiring to see the students. It's always inspiring to see the dedication they have towards their studies, to the institution, to their faculty members, and as the president, it's always inspiring to me. Thank you for attending today. I am the president of Seattle Central Community College. I too was a first-generation college student, as many of our scholarship recipients are. Thank you, donors, for your assistance in helping our students attend and graduate from Seattle Central. Approximately 1/4 of all of our students at Central receive some type of financial aid. What always impresses me the most about our scholarship recipients is their sense of giving. They show much altruism in one so young. They want to make a difference. They wish to right a wrong. You do make dreams come true. Think of your donation as planting a tree that will be allowed to grow and flourish. But in this case, you are helping to plant a forest. Now it is my pleasure to introduce to you the other president of Seattle Central, Najwa Al-Sheikh, student body president. It's students like Najwa who give me hope for the future. She is bright, she is daring, she used to be a bicycle delivery person in downtown Seattle, and she cares deeply about people. Please join me in welcoming Najwa. She has an inspiring story to tell.
Thank you, Dr. Kilpatrick, and thank you to the Foundation Board. My name is Najwa Al-Sheikh. I'm a student here at Seattle Central, and one of my jobs as student body president and executive of administration on the Student Council is to represent the student body and to listen to their voices. I've met students at Seattle Central whose passions for creating a better world around them led them to travel throughout the world on aid missions. And I've met students who have created programs to change our school for the better. One of the things that has constantly stuck out for me in all of my interactions on campus is just how unlikely it is, statistically speaking, that I myself would be sharing a space with all of these motivated college students. You see, when I was only 13 years old, I dropped out of school. And a few years after that, I had a child. For those who have dropped out of school at any age, the doors which should be open to any young person in America are instead closed. For those with a 7th grade education, the job market is particularly bleak. Lacking an education meant that I could not get a job that paid a wage that would fully support myself and my young son. I was in this demographic of poor, young, single mothers. I worked a job that was neither satisfying nor could pay the bills. My son and I lived in public housing, and the food that I put on the table was purchased through food stamps. The jobs that were all open to me all had a few things in common. They all paid a really low wage and required little or no education. These were jobs that offered no health benefits and no paid sick leave. At some point during one of these jobs that I had an epiphany. I decided that I wanted to give education a second chance. I decided that I wanted more out of life. I wanted a job where I was in a position to help people and where I could give back to my community. You see, for even the poorest people out there seemingly consumed with just the day-to-day realities of life, even we have dreams and goals. And as a young mother who wanted to work for the best life possible for my child, I had my dreams as well. I'm glad that I had that epiphany because going back to school and specifically coming to Seattle Central was one of the best decisions I have ever made. We need schools like Seattle Central. We need institutions that support and educate members of our community. The beautiful thing about education is that you cannot contain it. When you educate individuals, you aren't just providing a service to one person. You are providing a service to everyone who will later benefit from that person's education. Education has the power to change lives and affect entire communities. The health and well-being of any community, be it public health or the health of the economy, is intrinsically linked to education. Whether or not we survive and thrive as a country depends on how well we educate our citizens. But even though we know this, even though we logically know that in order to function as a society we need educated citizens, it is now harder than ever to obtain an education. Budget cuts to public education have slashed access to our most basic programs. Disproportionate tuition increases have put strains on students and their families. The competition to get into a university, even your state's own university, is now tougher than ever. As the class sizes and costs expand and as the support services decrease, we need to find ways to not let students fall through the cracks. I read a story recently about tuition costs in the Seattle Times. Washington State University's student body president was profiled in the article. In the article, he was talking about how his father had paid for his tuition back when he was at Washington State University. The way he did it was he worked in an ice cream shop over the summer. That summer job put him through college. I think I can say with some certainty that no student today could work for a few weeks over the summer and then pay for the rest of the year's university tuition with those few paychecks. Can you imagine doing that? It's just unheard of today. It is now impossible for a lot of working people to even afford tuition at their local community college. These are people like me who work 2 or 3 jobs just to scrape by and who still cannot afford the skyrocketing cost of a college education. This is a serious problem and one that needs to be addressed from multiple angles. But while this issue is tangled up in the world of politics, real people right now need job training or a degree. The question we must all answer is, where do we close that gap between what the students and their families can provide and what it now costs to go to college? Luckily, for students in this room, we live in a city where the generosity of our neighbors is proven all year long. Individuals and families who care about education, who care about the future of their community, have given to the foundation and its scholars in hopes that students like me who are struggling to figure out how to afford the cost of education could have the same chances that they once had. For those of us who cannot provide financial support, there are still ways to be a part of the solution by giving our time and our energy as volunteers and mentors in our community. Tonight, we are not only celebrating the students who have been given these scholarships, but also the donors who have provided the amazing opportunity for these students like myself, to go to school and to focus on their studies, less burdened by financial pressures and more able to achieve their dreams. Thank you. It is now my distinct honor to introduce tonight's keynote speaker. This man has been a gift to Seattle Central and to our community. Born and raised in Washington State, Nate Miles is a distinguished graduate of the University of Washington who has blazed a progressively successful career path and achieved a tremendous track record of community involvement. Nate has had an illustrious career working in the private and public sectors, including leadership positions at Cairo, State Senator George Fleming's office, and the Washington State Convention and Trade Center. Currently, Nate is a corporate executive for Eli Lilly, where he is responsible for oversight and management of all state government relations, public affairs, and external relations in his multi-state region. Nate has also built a distinguished record of civic participation and philanthropic involvement. He has played an instrumental role in many local social service organizations. He currently serves or has served on the Board of Trustees, the Board of Directors of the University of Washington Foundation, the King County Boys and Girls Club, City Club, and the Alliance for Education. Now, without further delay, please help me in welcoming to the stage Nate Miles.
Thank you, Donna. Wonderful story. Oh, thank you. You guys can do better than that. You just got 400 large. That's what I'm talking about. First, giving honor to God, who is the head of my life, to President Kilpatrick. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come and greet this august group of people. Board member Albert Shin, I see so many friendly and familiar faces in the crowd. It's just great to be here. And to really be able to come back into the community colleges, because I'm so proud of what you have done with these scholarships that you've gotten. I didn't get many scholarships with my little 1 grade point average coming out of high school, so scholarship is kind of a new concept to me. But seriously though, I do think that the fact that $400,000 was given out to one group of people to go to one school is just amazing. And what you do with it, though, really becomes the question. And I don't have much time, but the time that I do want to spend, I want to talk about, because what has happened is there was a huge investment made to fulfill a promise that someone had made to answer a prayer that somebody else had offered. This prayer might have been from one of your parents. It might have been from both of your parents. It might have been from a friend of yours. It might have been from you. It might have, as she just got done saying, might have been from a child. Mommy, what are we going to do? It might have been from a promise that you made to that child. Mama's going to make it better for you than it was for her. It might have been, Mommy's going to make sure that you have everything that you need. It might have been a lot of things, but it all came to fruition at Seattle Central. And you can't beat that. And what this school has done, I look at Seattle Central, rated by Time Magazine as one of the best colleges in the world, certainly in the country. But it was rated that because of the job that they do, because it takes people from everywhere, all walks of life, puts them together, and at the end of the day, they come out and they're ready to go out and take on the world. And I can tell you personally what I think about the community college system, because I'm a product of that community college system over at Columbia Basin College. And I know and understand that before you can go to a four-year college for whatever reason, and you go to a two-year college, it gives you an opportunity to do a whole lot of things that you might not get a chance to do at a four-year college in those first 2 years, or in those second 2 years, or when you come back in and you want to re-enter the school system. And this is such an amazing place, and it gives you such an amazing ability to do so, that the promise that is here at this school And I can tell you about promises because Dr. Kilpatrick, I know a little bit about promises. And the promise that they make you here is if you come here and you put in the effort, you put in the time and energy, when you leave here, you will be able to go out and do just about anything that you set your mind to. And they live up to that promise because they understand broken promises. I remember when, I wasn't always a corporate executive. I see some of y'all sitting around looking at me like, you know, believe me, coming out of a federal housing project, living on welfare. Oh no, I know the story. Some of you may not, because I know y'all been dressed all nice all your life, and so you didn't eat any of that welfare cheese that you didn't have the powdered milk that I know you guys drank only Dairy Gold. I didn't always drink Dairy Gold, and I'm not embarrassed to say it because the peanut butter that would tear up your bread even when you had heart, you didn't eat that. You guys always had dairy, the nice places to eat. But I can tell you, as someone who came out of East Pasco and out of Navy homes, I understand when someone breaks promises to you. There was a guy who was in our neighborhood. I can't call his name because my lawyers told me if I use his real name, I could get put in or sued for it. But we came home. Let's call him Leroy. So one day, Leroy, we were getting ready to go to a baseball game, sneaky in because we didn't have the money. Go through the fence. And so Leroy comes out and he's throwing his ball in his man. Hey, Leroy, come on, we're getting ready to go there. Oh, no, I'm waiting on my dad. What? I'm waiting on my dad. He's going to take us to the game. Your dad, boy, you know how it is in the hood. Ain't nobody bullying. We just bullied him. Boy, you ain't going to your daddy don't even come around. Yes, he is. He promised me this time he's really coming. Your dad always promised you. He ain't coming nowhere. Boy, come go with us. No, my dad's coming to get me. He said he's coming to get me. And Albert, he's going to be here. So he said, all right. So 1 o'clock, we went to the game. Second inning, no Leroy. Third inning, no Leroy. End of the game, no Leroy. We go back home. Looking for Leroy, no. We look under there, Leroy's crying. Boy, what's wrong with you? My dad did come. He lied to me again. He told me he promised this time he was coming. He promised. We punched him in the chest. Boy, come on, you know your daddy wasn't coming. We told you he wasn't coming. You just missed a good game. Leroy dried his face and he kept going. But you see the fear, just the anger inside of him, feeding that spirit. Leroy's serving 2 life sentences in Walla Walla prison today. Was it the broken promises? Was it the anger that finally built up inside of him to the point where he took somebody else's life? Didn't start off with murder, started off with burglary, then it just kept escalating till he killed 2 people. Was it the broken promises? I don't know if it was or if it wasn't. But I know this school said, if you come here and you bust your butt, if you do what it takes to make it through one of the most grueling curriculums you're going to find, we will prepare you for anything you want to do in life, right here at this school, right here in Seattle. That's what Seattle Central does. And I can't tell you how fortunate you are. Do you understand that you are 1 in 3 million people? You are 1 in 3 million people that would love to trade places with you. 3 million people in the world. I was down in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. This is a place, now understand how blessed you are. This guy comes home and he says to his wife, honey, look at this. Look, I heard about this place called America. Felix was talking about it, and he said if you could just get to this place called America, they give you money to go to school, and not just any school, to college. They'll give you a scholarship, and if we could just make it there, they'll give you financial aid, and they'll help you. She said, but honey, that's in America. He said, I know, come here, I got something I've been working on, I want to show you. And he brings his family down to the shoreline. And in the shoreline, he's wrapped together, he's cut down 7 trees. And he tied them together with some vines that he pulled together. And she looks at it and he said, now all I need, because he stabbed a branch into this deal, And he took the sheets. She said, I thought you were going to wash the sheets. And she looks and he has a sheet now that he's made into the sail. She said, what is this? Honey, we're going to America. She said, now remember, I'm married to a woman who won't go to the mall without GPS and accident avoidance and side airbags. And this guy has a raft that he's made with no GPS, no kicker, no outboard, no inboard, just a thing that he's going to row with a sheet. And he's convincing a woman to take all of her kids and everything they own and put it on this raft. And I know that she's thinking about it because she says, well, where is America? It's that way. No map, no charts. It's that way. She agrees to get on the boat. Y'all, I'm not playing with you. They have found people in the middle of the ocean on a raft who were told about this place called America. That if you could just get there, there's a school. That they will give you a scholarship for. And you can bring your kids, so put them on the raft too, sweetie. And they'll make sure that you can succeed wherever you go. If we can just get there. Shark-infested waters, typhoons, hurricanes. They're not inside, but they're trying to get to Seattle Central. Because I read in this magazine called Time Magazine, just look at the front of that. Dr. Kilpatrick, you were on the front of Time Magazine internationally. I heard they gave away scholarships to people who need it. They could get there. They got babies that need to be fed. They have hopes and dreams. I heard they will take care of you at Seattle Central, the front of Time Magazine. Y'all, 1 in 3 million people would love to trade seats with you. And I don't know who prayed for you. I don't know how long they prayed. I don't know what it was that you did, but you're sitting here now with that scholarship that somebody else was sitting in the middle of the ocean trying to get here for. You have made it to a point now where success is guaranteed with a little hard work and a little effort. Here at Seattle Central, you can make it. I know you can do that because as someone, I told you where I come from, if I can do it, I know you can do it. Nothing special about me, nothing more special about me than you, and ain't nothing more special about you than those other 3,299,999 other people who didn't get to sit where you're sitting. But you had someone. To me, it was Elizabeth Porter and a praying wife, and a praying mother, I should say. When I told Mama that I wanted to go to college, and we were living on that $6,000 a year, and she didn't know how she was going to pay for me to go to college, and Daddy told me, stop thinking like a fool, and that I didn't need to go to school. I should just get a job and try to earn a living like a real man and not bother going to college. But one day, I heard my mother, when I was over Miss Porter's house, she was a domestic, and she was cleaning Miss Porter's house. And she had this thing that she used to say, Albert, she would say, Lord, today. And that's when you got on her last nerve. Lord, today, because she's going to kill you then. Lord, today I'm going to kill this boy. If he does one more thing, he's on my last nerve. And I heard her, and I thought, I heard her say this, and I walked out because maybe my brother was there or she was mad at somebody else. And I walked out, and she was different this time. She didn't yell. She said, Lord, today. She said, Lord, today I thank you. She said, I thank you for this little piece of job that I have. Lord, I know it's not much, but I thank you for that anyway. She said, I thank you for my kids. I thank you for waking me up this morning. I thank you for letting my car stay. It needs work, but it made it over here. She said, I thank you so much, Lord. She said, Lord, I know I shouldn't ask you for anything because you've been so good to me anyway. But I don't ask for me. I'm asking for my son, Nate. You see, he wants to go to school. And Lord, you know I don't have the money for him. But he's been a good kid. Done what I asked him to do. He stayed off drugs and he stayed out of trouble in all of these gangs and stuff. But Lord, I don't know how, and I know I shouldn't ask you, but Lord, if somehow you could see to it that my son could go to school. You don't understand when you hear your mother pray that prayer. Miss Porter heard her too, because the following Monday, Miss Porter called and said, "Elise, I need you to come over right now." So Mama came over to her house thinking she was in trouble because that wasn't her day to clean the house. She said, "Elise, Fred and I have given it some thought. We know that you want Nathaniel to go to school, and if you would allow us, we want to pay for his first year of school." Here's this 1% white woman, Republican, and a 99% black woman, Democrat, coming together because they saw a need for a child to get an education. And she made it possible. So when people ask me today why I get so busy and helping to do things for so many people, white, black, it doesn't matter to me, because so many people have helped me. And so what I'll say to you in closing is that as you remember those, some of them you will know from the scholarships they gave you, and some of them you may never know. But they gave you something. They gave you a way to fulfill your promise, to make it a reality. And you say, well, what is the thing that you can do if you can't do anything else? For what you have been given, the opportunity of going to Seattle Central, the opportunity to get paid to go there, what I need you to do is just remember that with great power and great gifts comes great responsibility. And if you don't do anything else, as Shirley Chisholm used to say, she was a woman who ran for president, the first black woman to run for president. Before that, she was in the Congress, and she walked in as a freshman. They told her to sit down and shut up. That wasn't going to do for Shirley Chisholm, so she had a question to ask the speaker. So she started walking up to ask. She raised her hand. The speaker wouldn't acknowledge her. Raised her hand. The speaker wouldn't acknowledge her. She just started walking towards the podium. So when the speaker said, "The woman will sit down, the woman will sit down, the woman will sit down," she finally wouldn't sit down. He had to gavel the whole House of Representatives closed. She said she don't know what she was going to say when she got up there, but she was just walking. She wanted to let him know he took a stand. So I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, when you get out of here and you remember the opportunity that you've been given, you stand. You stand for those who can't stand for themselves. I want you to stand for the poor, for the elderly. I want you to stand for children. I want you to stand up to an unjust criminal justice system. I want you to stand for a healthier nation and a cleaner planet. One with safer neighborhoods and less street gangs. Stand up for the last, the least, the left out, the damned, the despised, the disinherited, and the disenfranchised. I want you to stand for the shut in and the left out, the torn up and the torn apart. Not just that, stand for a better region and a better nation, a stronger economy with more flourishing businesses, creating opportunities for other people like the opportunities you've got. Not only that, but stand for those who are naked and don't have the clothes to wear. Stand for those to feed them that are hungry. Stand to give voice to the voiceless, to give homes to the homeless, to give hope to the hopeless. You have been given a great opportunity. Take this opportunity, seize this moment, pay back those promises that somebody made and that investment they made in you, and the promise will be fulfilled. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your speaker today, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Wow. This is the second time I've had the privilege of being in Nate's audience, and what an amazing, inspirational leader you are, and how fortunate we are that you are such a champion for our students. Thank you, Nate. Well, I'm Linda Chauncey, and I have the privilege of serving as the Associate Dean of the Seattle Culinary Academy. And like our president, and like many of you will be very soon, I'm first generation college graduate. So, thank you. I wasn't asking for that, but I was just sharing that with you because I wanted you to know that it is with tremendous pride because of that, that I am your first announcer of the scholarship recipients, and it means so much to me to be given this honor. So, we have a couple rules, just to remind you. Scholarship recipients, when I call your name, I want you to stand up and then turn around so your adoring audience can see your face, your big smiles, and please don't sit down until I invite you to do so. Okay? Okay. Let's begin. The academic achievement in business scholarship goes to So-Ri Kim. The academic achievement in business scholarship also goes to Chiak Feng Lam. And a third scholarship by the same name goes to Fat Nu Win. The Airborne Express Endowment Scholarship, 3 individuals here. Lark Bollinger, Alam Bowman Ali, and Salen Lee. The Margaret K. Baldwin Endowed Scholarship goes to Jessica Christie. Now don't forget to turn around, y'all. Okay, okay. And the Richard E. Baldwin Windermere Scholarship goes to Alicia Valdez. Congratulations, and you may be seated. The next group, Bank of America Endowed Scholarship, goes to Roddy Lindquist. The Rick Berry Fellowship Endowment Scholarship goes to Jenny Jimenez Travers. The BECU Scholarship, once again, to Roddy Lindquist. And the Fred G. Bertzel Memorial Scholarship to Shane Doherty. And our neighbors, Blick Fine Arts Scholarship, we have 2 recipients, Kimberly Lanesco and Omi Na. Congratulations, and please be seated. And now the Boeing Company Endowed Scholarship. We have close to 10 recipients here. And the first is Rogina Adams. And Alton Setseg Bat Saihan. And Kimberly Bernales. Rachel Bocamatso. Joy Estil. Ryan Grousman. Valerie Guillot. Colby Monosmith. Amanda Tyner. Maria Villa. Victor Van Epps. And Craig Weeks. And now for the Broadway High School Alumni Foundation Endowment Scholarship. We have 4 recipients, and the first is the famous Najwa Al-Sheikh. As well as Alice Hegley. And Jenny Joyce. Look at the camera, Jenny. And we also have Edward Moore. Now, all these are Broadway High School Alumni Foundation endowed scholarships, but there are 3 different ones. The first one is for transfer students, and this goes to Zalbu Bayar Magnai. And this is also for a transfer student, but in this case, in the memory of William Wilton, and that goes to Fat Nguyen. And this one, once again for transfer students, but it's in memory of Florence Lindquist and goes to Jennifer Wilson. Congratulations, and you may be seated. Now, the Casey Family Program Scholarship goes to Kristen Rockus. The Richard and Minnie Collins Scholarship goes to Zara Osman. The Carolyn Craig Corcoran Memorial Endowed Scholarship goes to Frances Tucker. The H. Marie Davis Memorial Scholarship goes to Joseph Driscoll. And the Deloitte Scholarship, Darius Davis. And finally, the Edward K. Erickson Memorial Scholarship goes to Jessica West. Congratulations all. You may be seated. And if you would be so kind to turn your attention now to the screen so that you may see a video highlighting yet another Seattle Central Scholarship recipient.
I came to Seattle Central as an international student from Indonesia, with hopes and fears. My dad took a huge risk by borrowing money from friends and banks just to send me here to get a higher education, to have a better life than he did. I am grateful for everything he has done for me. So I came here promising myself to succeed in everything I pursue. I took a 22-hour flight to a place 8,000 miles away, and I was thrilled to come to live in a place of strangers. When I walked down the hallway at Seattle Central crowded by people of different cultures, backgrounds, and ages, I was scared. But Seattle Central welcomed me with open-minded teachers, friendly students, warm ambience, and really good Asian food near campus, which helped with my homesickness. I joined clubs at Seattle Central and they opened my eyes to interesting cultures from all around the world. I was intrigued by the opportunities given to each student to speak from different perspectives. I was never able to express my ideas in my country, as our culture is never exposed to this kind of thinking. This is a freedom I always wanted. I really needed scholarship to allow me to stay in school. Like I say, my father borrowed as much money as he could to send me here. The Shannon and Wilson Scholarship from Seattle Central has made an amazing difference in my life. Someone I never met before decided to invest in my education. This helps a small person like me to become big, to see a world full of opportunities, and to achieve dreams. Out of all these blessings, I aspire to give back everything that I have. This year, I founded a UNICEF chapter on campus. We started a book drive project to promote children's literacy worldwide, and we raised money to build schools in Cambodia. I thank God for His huge plans for me and for His biggest gift to my life, my dad.
Hello, I'm Kimberly McCrae, and I'm a counselor and a faculty member here at Seattle Central Community College. The success of our students is very important to me, and I am honored to be here today to congratulate them. I love you also. I am here to read the second round of scholarship awards, and again, please stand as I call your name and face our audience, and remain standing until I ask you all to be seated. Okay, so we'll get started with the Fabian Scholarship Fund. I would like to call out Eric Garrison, William Smith, and Ruben Turk. Thank you. You may be seated. Well, you can continue standing, I also would like to start now with the Foster Pepper Endowed Scholarship. Will Miriam Williamson please stand? And now we have the Florence E. Galbraith Endowed Scholarship with Flora Black, Henry James, Catherine Jones. Now, and I've really been practicing this name, so be patient with me. Neri Kuwahi Paubert and Elita Wald-Michael. Would you all stand? And for, the Group Health Cooperative Endowed Scholarship recipient is Gina McConnell. Congratulations, and you all may be seated. Now we're moving on to the James D. Hoyt Memorial Scholarship with Ashley Hunter, Amy Johnson, Crispin Larison, Valerie Moffer, Kiara Roos, Hannah Small, Nancy Snyder, please stand. We also have the Hugh S. Cannon Foundation Scholarship recipients, Allison DeWhite, Heather McDaniel, Trang Nguyen, Eddie Perry, Diana Placencia, Jennifer Smith, James Smith, William Smith, Ladonia Tyson, Miao Ye, and Michonne Wheeler. Congratulations, and you all may be seated. Next, we have the International News Mike Alesko Apparel Design Endowed Scholarship, and that goes to Laura King. We have the Patricia Fleck McKay Memorial Endowed Scholarship, and that goes to Rebecca Cantu, Chantel Carter, Trina Chapman. The Macy's Scholarship goes to George Kaufman. The Mano a Mano Endowed Scholarship will go to Cecina Montesinos and Lucero Torres. The Jeff Mathey Scholarship is awarded to Nathan Griffin. And then we have the Lauren McCutcheon Memorial Endowed Scholarship, which goes to, now how come I can't remember how to, Najwa Al-Sheikh, Sharonda Duncan, Dejana Fantuzzi, Michelle Flowers, Jermaine Hayes, Elise Hagel, Nicholas Canto-Dios, Edward Moore, and Elisa Scott. Congratulations to you all, and you may be seated. The next scholarship is the Elizabeth Dallas Michelson Memorial Scholarship, which is awarded to Rowena Runez. And now we have a big one here, the Dr. Charles H. Mishu Fund for Excellence Scholarship. That will be awarded to Jared Alfonso, Mark Bennett, Laura Lee Clark, Rio Cole, Dow Stoles, Christina Fox, Darius Fulmer, Ruth Jones, Jacqueline Moore, Carolyn New, Joe Nguyen, Olga Oloufs, Tong Tong, Jane Mi Wong. Congratulations to you all. We now have the Bill Morgan Endowed Scholarship, which goes to Christina Endicott and Vet Pham. We have the Muckleshoot Tribal Council Endowed Scholarship, which goes to Robertson Ashman. Congratulations to you all, and you may be seated. Thank you. Thank you again. Now please join me in welcoming Seattle Central student and scholarship recipient William Smith to stage. Carpe diem.
I'd like to thank the foundation for asking me to come speak today. And I am truly blessed to be here because I come from a single-family, low-income home, too. And at the age of 15, I got a different education in the streets. And I got into crack and alcohol. And it wasn't a short time later before I developed a really bad addiction to cocaine. And the next 25 years of my life was virtually a blur. 9 treatment centers, 50 incarcerations in the King County Jail, and 2 prison sentences, you know, and so that's what I had on my resume. And I was sitting in prison that last time, and I was sober, you know, and I had some time to think, and I said, hey, man, I want a different life. You know, I was 40 years old, 6 felonies, violent felonies. I mean, my future looked really bad. And for me, the only way out was education. That was the only thing that was going to combat my resume. And, you know, the last time I was in school, the last grade I had completed was 8th grade, you know. And so what I did was, in the prison, I started taking advantage of the education opportunities they have, which are very few. You know, I went to the library and I got the little 6th grade books, the little fraction books, but that's all I knew. You know, and I started right there because I knew that I wanted to go to school when I got out, and I knew that I was going to struggle on the street smoking crack, or I was going to struggle up here in the school getting an education. But I knew the outcome. So, well, I developed a transition plan. I started studying early, making the preparations to get out. I started addressing my issues because I knew that I wasn't going to be able to stand unless I did that. So I got myself into an Oxford house. I started doing service work. I started giving back to the community, which I encourage all of you to do because so much has been given to you tonight. And I connected with transition programs, and I just started utilizing my opportunities, and I connected with my childhood faith, and I got that faith back in God, and I started living right. You know, and I just started doing the next indicated right thing, and it brought me here today. And I didn't do it alone. I had a lot of support, and one of my mentors, friends, and support in the street out there was Ari from the post-prison education. Would you stand up, Ari, please? Ari Cohn. It's hard to find someone that'll do something for a good person, but he helps prisoners and inmates, you know, and he helps them transition back. I would not have gotten connected with the scholarship program without Ari. I was running into dead ends. I gave him a call. I've had the opportunity to go back into prisons. This time I got out right away, but I got to speak to other inmates, you know, about the importance of education and how it'll transform your life. I'm living the dream. This is my dream, and I'm living it today. So I want to thank Ari, the Foundation Scholarship, and my Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you.
Thank you, Will. That was inspirational. You know, we're proud as hell of you and happy that you chose SCC to begin your education. You lift us too. My name is Rich Appleton, and I'm director of the TRIO Student Support Services Office. And we work with first-generation low-income students all the time. Those are our targeted students. I've been here quite a while, and I'm really honored. This is probably one of the special days in the year for a lot of us. It's always an honor to take part in the scholarship. It's handing out money. Students just love it. They love us. It's a great feel. We all feel loved. Okay, so I'd like to start the third round. And we will begin with Hisako Nakaya's Apparel Design Endowed Scholarship. And the winner is Laura King. The Eleanor Nazarenis Nelson Mandela Endowed Scholarship. And we have about 4 or 5 of those. Patty Barlow. Barry Jackson. Angela Jefferson. Zuriyash Majid. Nasir Yaqub. Please remain standing. The Northwest Education Loan Association Scholarship to Ciandra Smith. The Dr. Henry P. Olay Memorial Scholarship to Alessandra Turner. And finally, in this group, Opticians Association of Washington Nick O'Connell Scholarship to Vicki McDougall. Thank you. Please be seated. Next, the Rex Ovina Endowed Scholarship to Jenny Jimenez Travers. The Molly V. Pepper Apparel Design Endowed Scholarship goes to Kimberly Parks. The Spike Perry Memorial Scholarship to Nathan Barnes, Kyle Peck, Dane Wright. All three of them are in school at this very moment. They're at our Maritime Academy. The Horst and Ruby Peschel Family Endowed Scholarship to Matthew Komrowski. And finally, the Michiko Prin Endowed Scholarship goes to Claudia Cruz and Ruben Turk. Thank you. Please be seated. For the Liana Sanders Reed Nursing Scholarship, Najamo Hamoud. The Rest Care Scholarship to Wenting Yang. The Ruby Room Scholarship, Jennifer Oishi. The Safeco Insurance Foundation Endowment Scholarship to Chianen Myo. And Takang Wang. The Safeco Insurance Foundation Endowed Scholarship for Future Teachers of America, Khadijo Abdi. Amanda Benson. Lindsay Johnson. Kalia Cleva. Thank you. Please be seated. The final section, the Sarkowski Family Endowed Scholarship to Sally Dodds and Kyle Peck. The Herman Sarkowski Endowed Scholarship for Business and Information Technology to Suching Lee. Finally, the Seattle Central Opportunity Scholarship, Trang Bach, Robert Bartholomew, Jessica Cunningham, Claudia Cruz, Jenny Joyce, Megan Kellett, Heather Kelly, Jose Lopez, Fabian Miller, and finally, Lois Parker. Congratulations to all of you. Eyes to the screen for our final video.
The ability to explain a mathematical concept and have a conversation about it is beautiful to me. I love the joy that arises when a tough math problem is finally solved. I also love where I study math, at Seattle Central. I started college at the University of Michigan, which is home to one of the most prestigious engineering schools in the country. In March of 2010, I left the university because my being searched for something that Michigan lacked. I had led others by creating safe spaces in which to deconstruct prejudices and build common ground through dialogue. Now, I needed to do the same thing for myself. I came to Seattle Central and found what I was missing. The classrooms and hallways of Seattle Central are what the world should look like. They are filled with students of all ages and colors, faculty and staff who are filled with passion. We gather in classrooms to learn how to affect change in the world, and we work together outside of school to empower each other. When I received the scholarship that allowed me to continue in school this year, it validated my goal to become a computer scientist. My scholarship meant that I could embrace my love of math, and it fortified my need to succeed. My fight for an inner safe space turned into a journey to understanding that the most difficult and frightening tasks are the most rewarding. This journey solidified my desire to pursue an engineering degree and to continue to fight prejudice through understanding. I will use the strength I have gained to contradict the generic image of an engineer. I will represent lesbian women of color when I work. I will magnify our presence in technical fields, and I will continue to teach others the lessons I have learned at Seattle Central.
Greetings. I've seen that video a couple times, and each time it just makes me so excited to have somebody learning science and math and going forward. I'm Wendy Rockfield, the Dean of Science and Mathematics here at Seattle Central Community College, and it's my pleasure to read the scholarship applications every year and to learn more about our students, not only in science and mathematics, but in other areas. As I learn about these students, I appreciate the efforts and the trials and the things they do to go forward. I'll be doing the last set of scholarships here, and I'm going to start off with the fourth and final round of them, and the first one is the Seattle Central Opportunity Transfer Scholarship. And we'll do this in the same way we've done the other 3 rounds. So can I please have Jennifer Peekle, Tiana Tremblay, they're preparing to transfer, I think. The Seattle chapter Les Dans Escaffiers Endowed Scholarship. This is with the Culinary Arts Program. We have Hillary Benedict. Sarah Sear. Jacqueline Hasey. Geneva Melby. Next we have the Seattle Security Traders Association Endowed Scholarship. And this one goes to, I'm going to do my best here, Somjay Ekmaha Sawas. Pardon me. The Seattle Times Scholarship goes to Kaylee Ockley. And the Senegal Family Foundation Endowed Scholarship goes to Terrell Kelly. Congratulations, scholarship winners, and please be seated. The Space Needle Endowed Culinary Arts Scholarship goes to Ryan Miller. There's a room named after this gentleman in the Science and Mathematics building. The Ray W. Strand Endowed Scholarship goes to Gregory Jackson. Student Leadership Endowed Scholarship. This is a great group. First award is to Jennifer Poole. And Miriam Williamson. The Symetra Leadership Scholarship goes to Dawn Vo. Ruth Taylor Scholarship to Gemma Ryan. The Tom Tierney Tribute Scholarship to Stephanie Nguyen. And the Utrecht Fine Arts Scholarship to Edward Moore. Congratulations, scholarship winners, and please be seated. The Kathleen Walsh Memorial Scholarship goes to Robert Bartholomew and Howard Bess. The Roger M. Walters Endowed Scholarship in Woodworking goes to Melissa Herron. I was researching today, Seattle Central has been partners with the Washington NASA Space Grant Consortium for about 12 years now, and they've been giving out scholarships this entire time. This year's scholarship recipients are Corinne Bray, Emmanuel Gambliel, Benjamin George, Aaron Hanada, Sarah Carr, Nihad Susei, Whitney Tuxbury, and Geraldine Zita. The Holt W. Webster Memorial Endowed Scholarship goes to Susanna Marshall and Kelly Richardson. The Polly Schultz Whitehead Memorial Scholarship goes to Shifeng Wu. And there are two Richard and Martha Wheeland Endowed Scholarships. One is for apparel design, and that goes to Rosalind Casey. And the other Richard and Martha Wheeland Endowed Scholarship is for culinary arts, and that goes to Sarah Jones. Congratulations, scholarship winners, and grab a seat. I'm going to now turn it over to Lauren to finish off the day.
Well, that concludes our program for the evening. I don't have a big job to close this up, but we want to welcome everyone to stay for wine and hors d'oeuvres in the reception right outside. And congratulations. We are incredibly proud of all of you. We are incredibly thankful for all of the community members and donors in the room tonight and those that can't be with us tonight as well. Thank you to the faculty and staff that made tonight possible and the scholarship distribution possible. Just one quick housekeeping thing. If you could please recycle your name tags on the way out, that would be wonderful. Thank you again. You're all amazing.